Hi, guys. This is Amber Lynn. You're listening to the Tim O and Harley Show.
Welcome to the Tim O and Harley Show.
Thank you for listening to the Tim O and Harley Show. I am Tim O. Over there is my partner in mind crime, Mr. Ben Harley. Say hello, Harley.
What is happening, people?
Ben Hong Kong Harley.
Hong Kong Phooey.
Hello, Mr. Ben Harley,
right.
and hello to all of the deep thinkers. Hello to deep thinkers.
Hi out there, Tim-O, and the deep thinkers.
Yeah. So, Mr. Ben Harley, you told me that you now have an apparatus where you can float out when you're at your lake house now. So did you buy a yacht?
Yeah, I bought a yacht. Yes, I bought a giant yacht. Yeah, and
wow, you're like Elmer J. Fudd.
Yeah, it's a whole whopping 14 feet long.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. The ladies are impressed, I'm sure, right now.
Oh, man. Girls like a big boat. Like I say, huh?
You know what they say about guys with big boats?
That's right.
They got big oars.
Big oars. Yeah, exactly. Big anchors.
So you get a boat.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Tim. You know, it's funny because we've been going up a little bit more to my dad's cottage and things like that, you know, and I was trying to help out clean up for him because we broke his arm. And we've been spending a lot more time up there. Mm-hmm. And I've been wanting, actually, for the last couple of years, just a boat, even to, you know, puddle around out here at the Maumee River. But, you know, where we're at, it's hard to store a boat, really, you know. We do have a backyard, but getting it to the backyard of this place would be a little bit of a task, you know. So,
you'd have to sit in it to hang out in your backyard, probably.
Yeah, probably, yeah, with a gun or something, you know, make sure no one steals it at night.
It's a good place for hornets and wasps to make nests, too, probably.
That, too, yes, sir, yeah. So, a buddy of mine had one for sale.
All right.
I got the boat, the yacht,
yikes.
Got that yacht, the boat, the boat, the trailer, and the motor for $500. So
that's not bad at all.
Yeah, no, So I was very happy, and a gas tank and a couple other things, and
very good.
I'm trying to clean it up a little bit and get her ship shape,
right,
and christen her. I'm not sure yet.
All right,
maybe the Orca. You never know.
Well, you don't know. I'm good at naming things. I'll have to think of something.
Yeah.
I'll have to think of something. I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I come up with a name for your boat. How about that?
Yes.
Because no matter what you call it, I'll call it whatever the hell I think it's supposed to be called.
Exactly.
Anyway.
There you go.
Yeah.
The bumpo. There you go.
Right.
So, yes. But, thank you, Tim. Yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited to get out there like Captain Stubing. And, or Captain Bly or, the list Captain Hook, however you want to.
Let's see here. Then you also had a wrestling show. Did you say you had a wrestling show this weekend? Now, wait, how are you guys doing this? Because now we all live in the same COVID world here right now.
Yes,
and everybody's like very touchy about crowds and stuff. So how are you guys pulling this off?
Well, we did another show up at Phil Monahan's place there. Mm-hmm. And Phil Nitro Monahan, nerd. Yeah, gotcha. I said it right here on this show.
Oh boy.
I'm still feeling it, nerd. But anyways,
Phil, give me time to duck. Okay, I don't want anything to do with this right now.
Yeah, right. But we had it out there at Phil's house. But actually, what's nice is Phil has some acreage out there. Uh-huh. So there was some social distancing. You know, people were in like kind of smaller groups. Away from, each other, not, you have one or two people sitting with each other, and then there was some space. So it actually worked out pretty well. And I was surprised how many people came there, but yes, I got to manage Genghis Clown and the Beast.
Oh,
the Beast.
The Beast is back.
The Beast is back, baby.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's more like,
he's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's been pretty good. Still living large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. So, we took on Phil Nitro, Nerd Monahan, and Malice. Yeah. Those guys. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yes, that was a lot of fun, though. We had a great day, good crowd, and Some good food too, Tim.
All right. Very good.
I like to judge places on food and my food intake.
So is this going to be like a regular thing or what? I mean, until
I think
because obviously these weren't sanctioned, right? I mean, they're not really. No, These are just fun exhibitions or whatever.
Yeah, okay. And I don't know. This is a small town, Timo.
Yeah,
we're talking. Hudson's. It's Tim. You live rural. This is on a dirt road.
Okay,
this is off a dirt road. It's not, and his whole family kind of lives on that road, or majority of that road. Is, his father, mom and dad.
It's like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre set up, pretty much.
Yes. Yeah, right, totally. Pretty good. So if you get in and you get out, you're lucky. You can get in. Getting out, it's lucky. You know what I'm saying?
Right. A lot of Spider Baby-esque things around.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of sketchy areas.
Gotcha.
What's that shack for? But I was like, this is okay. And once we got out there was room to mingle around in the crowd too, which was kind of fun. You know what I mean? And I had to pull out a couple of fake sneezes and coughs and stuff. To get people a little work. Like little COVID stuff there, a little COVID comedy, Tim.
There you go.
So yes. But what a great day! Just we had a nice day as far as the weather. I love the outdoor shows. Man, they're fun. You don't get that same. It's the pops from the crowd aren't maybe as loud, but they're still there. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just that the crowd seems to be lively too, though. They're having fun.
Right.
And had another Potentate of Hate. Our guy there wearing a Potentate of Hate shirt that I didn't recognize. So.
Sure.
No. I haven't seen him in a while.
Oh boy, okay.
I feel bad. Yeah. Well, he's more sticks around the Toledo area.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But So yes, very happy about that, Jim.
Good.
Because it's hard to go out there and give the people the business and then expect them to buy your T-shirts.
Right. Now, my big question was: were any lady wrestlers there?
Yes.
Really, because I have 8 acres of wooded land, Mr. Ben Harley, that I'm willing to put, and a swimming pool that you could do a hardcore match in, that I'm willing to allow to be put up in my yard, because I have no yard right now anyway.
Yeah. Hey, I think I'm down with that.
I think I might put on a whole ladies wrestling show.
Yeah,
and then you can,
idea.
Yeah, you can.
In the pool.
Now you're talking. Now you're thinking. Now you're thinking my language.
Yeah.
Very good. So is this going to be like a semi-regular thing out there, or is it?
He's thinking about it.
I mean, at least until you can get everything back to, I guess, St. Clement's Hall, right?
Yeah. Well, and there's
if that happens,
Phil,
I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Phil does the CIW, so that's what we were doing.
Okay.
Okay. So we, just down the street, not too far, is where we did the other matches. The last one that we did,
that was an outdoor one at somebody's house too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, this one's this one's actually in the grade school, junior high there in town. Okay. So and man, that one's a lot of fun.
Oh, okay.
To Waldron, so it's not too far. Like maybe 5 minutes from where Phil lives. And that's the last time we put there. It was like close to it was like 350, 400 people there.
Oh wow!
So
that's pretty good.
It was just a nice turnout, and I hope he does more.
Right.
I really do. So.
I mean, this is good for you guys. Here's the thing: it's the world is a little different now. This happens.
Yeah.
This happens, and so we can either complain and sit and or be creative.
Yeah.
Figure out ways to do things the way you used to do things in a slightly different way.
Fashion.
And that's maybe divert the energy that way, right? So, well, very good, very good. So I hope everything continues to be okay for you guys doing that kind of stuff, and hopefully it'll be a nice bridge to back to some sort of normalcy. Look, I'm hoping things come back to normal, except they do separate chairs a little bit more and things like that. And this is a personal thing for me, because I can't stand being around people.
I just don't want to be around anybody.
I want space so people don't talk to me or breathe on me anyway. I'm not a germaphobe. I'm a human phobe.
You just don't want people that close. You just don't want people that close to you.
No, ever.
sucking up your air either, Tim.
Yeah. I don't care if they're sick. They're just another human I don't know.
Yes.
And I don't want them around me, so.
No. Yeah. Tim, you've been like that as long as I've known you. So
I've been like that a lot longer, too. So.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Very good.
Thank you, Tim. Yeah. So I'm going to be driving my boat to the wrestling shows.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm going to find every channel and or let's see, gully that I can make it there.
Very good. Well, you just call it Riverside Wrestling and pull right up, and you can do that. Yeah. So, let's see. So around here, we've just been getting the pool finished up and everything. But
you lucky dog, you.
Yeah, writing with Ultraman. Right. So, Castle Dio is Dio-esque. Yeah, it's very Dio. Everybody loves it. Yeah.
I love it.
And then been doing some writing with Ultraman.
How's that going?
Good. It's been really good. Actually, tonight I have to go back out to the studio and do some more writing with those guys. But in the meantime, have been watching a few movies like I always do, and reporting back here, Mr. Ben Harley, before we get to our official film. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's just jump in here. 1967. Watched a movie called Night of the Generals. Starring.
Is this a war film?
Well, yeah, it's starring Omar Sharif and Peter O'Toole. All right.
Okay.
This is a murder mystery that takes place at the end of World War II. It's a murder mystery about a German general who murders a prostitute in war-torn Berlin. Now, or maybe it's Poland. I can't remember. It's Nazi German occupied. So this is a very interesting movie where there's no American troops anywhere. This is taking place within the German ranks. You're following German soldiers.
Okay.
You're not identifying with their plight in the war. You're identifying with them as characters. But what's interesting is that, remember, this is 1967, and the movie all takes place with that Operation Valkyrie in the backdrop. As a backdrop, like the plot to assassinate Hitler.
Yeah, when the tables basically save Hitler. Yeah,
exactly. So a lot of those little scenes that you might have seen in that Tom Cruise movies are being played out in this film as well. Yeah. So it's a very interesting film. I just wanted to mention it. I like it being taken from the Germans' point of view only because it's interesting and different. It is at the end of the war. They're trying to get rid of Hitler. They know they've lost. They're all trying to figure out how to surrender and get away with it.
Get rid of him. Get out of here. Yeah.
Right. So, but and then it's an interesting film. If you catch it, it's not very readily available, but if you catch it, watch it. Yeah. It's very, very cool.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
From 1986. Here you go. Now, this is probably a movie you've probably seen, but you haven't heard of for a while, and I'm going to pull it out on you, Mr. Ben Harley. And I know I like doing this to you because it freaks you out sometimes. Yeah, so we watched FX.
Oh, really?
You remember FX?
Yeah.
Starring Brian Brown and Brian Dennehy. And you know who Brian Dennehy's boss is? Played by one Roscoe Orman. Ever heard of that name, Roscoe Orman?
No.
You might have heard of his most famous character. He goes by the name of Gordon on Sesame Street.
Oh, Gordon, yeah.
So he's a hard, grizzled police sergeant in this movie. So I like me some Roscoe. No, it's actually very, very good. It's a very cool movie. I know it's kind of gotten forgotten and buried over the years, but when it came out, it was a pretty popular little flick.
Yeah, it was more about the special effects guy, right?
The government hires Brian Brown he is a special effects guy, and they hire him to fake a death in a public place of a gangster who is supposed to be going under the witness protection program.
Right. Okay.
So in order to protect him very good, they're going to make everyone think he's dead, just like Bruce Banner. Yeah. Or David Banner in the Hulk show, right?
Banner.
Depending, Bruce or David, depending if it's a comic or if it's the TV show. So
right.
And of course, things don't go right, and they need no loose ends at all. And Brian Brown happens to be a loose end. So, but the one thing that I did kind of remember, but every time I watch this, I get disappointed by one thing. It's really light on the special effects stuff.
Yeah, I think I do remember that.
Yeah, it's a good story. Yeah. But man, you got some really neat stuff here you could play with, and they do a little bit, but not enough, I don't think.
Sure.
Now there is FX2. We are going to watch that here soon, and if I remember correctly, that's a little more effects heavy. Like, it would just be cool if they would show him using his talents more.
Right. It's a movie about and it's called FX.
Yes. And it's not that it isn't present. It's just, they could do a little bit more and make the movie a little more fun. So
I haven't even thought of that movie in a long time.
Well, there you go. See, I like to do that to you, Mr. Ben Harley. I like to do that to you.
I might have to dig that out though, because I remember kind of sort of enjoying it, and I need to go back and find some movies to watch too. Here, I'm trying to find some.
It's a good one.
Recently.
So it holds up pretty good. Let's see here from 1940. Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
I like these from 1940.
Yeah.
We watched The Invisible Man Returns.
Ooh, okay. So I'm an Invisible Man freak out?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm always on Invisible Man freak out when you think
always.
At least I want to be on one most of the time. So this is the one where Vincent Price plays the Invisible Man. He's on death row, and right before he gets sent to electric chair, he disappears in his prison cell. And what it is he knows the brother. We did that recently, didn't we? Not really we recently, did review it, but not recently. Yeah. So just kind of remind you, that's the one where, where Vincent Price is friends with the brother of the original Invisible Man, who tries to help Vincent Price out of jail because he knows he's innocent, and he wants to get him out of jail to help prove his innocence. But of course, his serum drives you mad, so it's a race against time.
Yeah, before he goes crazy.
Yeah, before he goes crazy, and of course they can't get a suitable antidote in time or nothing like that. So it's a race against time, blah, blah, blah. Very, very, very good movie. It has a Cecil Kellaway in it, who I like a lot. He's an older guy. He's in like The Postman Rings twice. He was in I Married a Witch, a whole bunch of stuff like that. So, of course, Alan Napier is in it.
Oh, yeah. Good old Alan Napier.
Yeah, so it is an awkward tie-in to the first movie, but it's great on its own, though, at the same time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Moving on. I just wanted to mention this one thing for one reason, Mr. Ben Harley. So I watched a riff track. So this is on Amazon Prime. Okay. Yeah. And the riff tracks is called A Talking Cat.
A Talking Cat.
Well, the reason I said it that way is that it's called A Talking Cat, ! Exclamation point, question mark. So I'm trying to be literal and say the movie is called A Talking Cat, which is, of course, what the riff tracks guys do through half of the film.
Oh, my gosh.
The reason I bring this up...
I've seen that one, Well,
the reason I bring this up is because it is a newer film made in like the last 5-10 years, which they don't do that very often.
No.
It's a movie that was made by David Dakota. I'll let you look up David Dakota and figure out who he is, but... So anyway, so this is one of his newer films that he's making. It's just a throwaway. This is supposed to be kind of like a family film. This guy makes everything. If it's the B movie, he makes it. It doesn't matter what kind it is, right?
Right.
But the funny thing is this movie stars a one Johnny Whitaker.
Oh,
you know who Johnny Whitaker is?
Yeah, that's my guy. That's my boy
Tom Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer, Buffy and Jody. Yeah.
He's also from Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
Yep, exactly. And a lot of people forget about that, and sometimes I do myself.
Right.
But
well, just imagine a portly 90s new wave haircutted Johnny Whitaker playing the way too old dad.
Yeah.
of a kid. It's just a weird movie. And the talking cat, believe it or not, is voiced by a drunk Eric Roberts.
Oh no!
And I mean a drunk Eric Roberts. Even HBO looked over at me and was like, "That guy sounds drunk." And right after the riff tracks guy started digging into him, but sounded pretty drunk. Yeah. Anyway, it's called A Talking Cat. But I know that you're a big
Whitaker,
I know you're a big Tom Sawyer guy from.
Oh, it's my stuff there
from that era. I'm gonna get you a Blu-ray of that movie. I promise you that. I know I will.
You, buddy.
I will get you.
I was actually watching. I gotta go back, and I just had it in the background the other day. Like a Star Wars thing about the whole new Star Wars galaxy, whatever at Disney. Mm-hmm. And they always talk to John Williams, which is great.
Sure.
And I was thinking to myself, I would be the only guy on the planet that would go up there and ask him about the Tom Sawyer movie before Jaws and Close Encounters and Star Wars and all this. Here's this guy comes up talking. But it's a great score too. Oh my God! So I had to start talking about the Tom Sawyer movie. So that's great.
Yeah. It was funny. We were watching it, and I was like, I know who that guy is somehow, and I couldn't place him. I knew he was somebody. Yeah. You know what I mean? I couldn't figure it out, so I looked it up. Of course, I was like, oh my God! You always think he was a kid. I mean, that's all you remember him as a kid.
Yeah. So he had that hair, and it was just the hair. Man.
He still got some hair, buddy. He's still got the weird hair. He was a decent
child actor, but that's what happened. I don't know.
Right.
That's my Tom Sawyer, though, Timo. That's him right there.
I hear you.
I think of Tom Sawyer. That's him. So yeah.
All right.
A talking cat, I guess now.
Oh yeah. Oh, a talking cat. Yeah. So I had so much fun with them guys. Them guys, they kept doing that through the movie. A talking cat.
So So did they get some? Did you get some Buffy and Jodie cracks?
They really didn't. No, I don't think they really identified him that much or anything. They didn't. They went after Eric Roberts too much.
They had enough to go around. Yeah.
Maybe they had.
I watched Family Affair when I was a kid, though. I did.
You and Zed from Police Academy, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's see here. Moving on, Mr. Ben Harley from 1984.
That's a good year, too.
We continued on our Friday the 13th Freak Out.
Did you? Nice. Okay.
Yeah, so, of course, 1984 is Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. I consider this the last of the canon. Last of the Friday the 13th. This is, you could just end it here. Like this is probably this is probably the place you should. Well, it is called the final chapter. So I'm not exactly being a genius here by figuring this out.
No.
So this is the one that has Peter Barton in it, who's in Hell Knight. He's Linda Blair's boyfriend in Hell Knight. We have that guy played a kid for like 20 years. So congratulations, by the way.
Hey, Ralph Macchio. Yeah. Exactly.
Also has Crispin Glover in it, Corey Feldman. So this is this is the best. This one has the best cast in it.
Yes,
absolutely, hands down. And what's interesting is we were just talking about Part 3 about how it had like the worst acting. This one is very good acting. This is a good, well-acted film. So I don't know. Again, I can only blame the 3D process for hurting the acting process in the third one.
Sure. Yeah, no, I'll go on with you on that, Tim, because there's some real stiff stuff in Part 3. Though I still love it. I do. I really do like that movie.
I don't hate it.
No,
not at all. It just hurts because it just sticks out.
I started to hate a lot of them coming next.
They get a little goofy after. Yeah. But so
I'm gonna do the same thing though, Tim. I gotta get on the freak out too at some point.
Well, and this one was directed by Joseph Zito, who did like a couple of Chuck Norris movies, like Invasion USA, Missing in Action. He also did The Prowler. So the guy knew how to make a movie that made money and stuff. So he knew how to be. He was a serviceable director, who did this and stuff. But the funny thing is, Part 3 was
he put asses in the seats.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, Part 3 was done by Steve Miner, who did Part 2. I don't see the connection. I'm like, I don't get it because they don't even It's even kind of awkward how the two movies marry together, Part 2 and 3, and as well as this one a little bit. But it's like, man, I don't know. Part 3 bothers me. It's bothering me more and more because I do like it. But I think I like the end of it. I like the chase, the last half hour of it, where things are really cooking in that. And the rest of it is just a painful reminder of how bad the acting is. And this one, you actually care about the characters. Yeah. Like, you do have pretty fleshed out characters for a Friday the 13th film in particular.
Sure.
And stuff. Yeah. So, and Corey, and the addition of the family, of Corey Feldman in it, the kid and everything, is really cool. But we had fun. Yeah, but we had fun watching. I do like this one. This one to me, it's funny because Part 2 is my favorite one. But I even told Angio, I actually think the final chapter is probably the best film in this series. It's my second favorite, but it's probably better. I mean, and I probably actually enjoy it more. I think is my age, and 81 was his 81. Yeah. I'm just going to enjoy that more just because I think how it scared me in a different way. Part 4. I was a few years older. It didn't scare me quite as bad, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the hell out of it, actually. And Tom Savini came back for this one. I think he did a great job in this movie. Well, Harley, I'm a little nervous, though, because on my Friday the 13th Freak Out, in order to keep it going, I have to go to Part 5. I have to go to Part 5 in order to keep it going. And it's not a horrible movie.
And that's the one with the guy, the ambulance driver?
Yeah, and Tommy Jarvis. Now, in fairness, there is a thread between 3 movies. Between 4... 5 and 6 is Tommy Jarvis. More so about him than it is about Jason.
Sure. Right.
So, and I know that they took the series in a little bit of a different direction, but at least it was still attached to the beginning a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
Once you get past 6, the gloves are off, and it's just
just go for it.
It's I can't defend it anymore after that. It's like, all right, fine, whatever.
It's just
Let's get to our official film for this week, Mr. Ben Harley. This is a strange film from 1989. We have the film The Vineyard.
Yes.
Vineyard.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Get out, movie guy. Get you a short storyline synopsis here for The Vineyard.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
World famous winemaker Elson Poe invites several actors to his estate to audition for a movie he's financing. Little do they know, there is no movie, and Poe hides a deadly secret. Okay, now follow me here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to start with this. I wasn't planning on this, but I'm going to start with this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let the shower down in your little brain pieces. And see what you think here, okay?
All right.
This was a cross between the Chinese black magic films. You remember those? With the with the black magic with the witches and stuff and Motel Hell.
Okay, yeah.
How about that for a cross of movies?
That's pretty crazy. Yeah, you can't get
but now think
more of a cross breed.
No,
this.
you can't. But when you stop and think about it, okay, and also put this into the equation. Apparently, from what I read, I could not find exactly any kind of like details on this. Yeah. But there was at least some financing that came from the Great White North.
Okay, I can believe that. Yes, I believe that for sure.
Because I actually wrote down, while watching this, I think Canada lost a real opportunity here while we were watching it. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, well, you didn't let me down because apparently the countries of origin were the United States and Canada. Although it was shot in California and everything, I think it just had some financing from I don't think so from Canada, but it could have been made. It could be, it could be straight Canuck. And I would believe you for sure. So this movie stars and is directed by James Hong.
James
Hong. Nice guy. I actually talked to him for a minute, very late at night, outside in the courtyard at a horror hound.
Really?
Yes. I was sitting outside my courtyard room.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was having a little fun, probably by myself pretty much, but it's probably seeing double at the time, and 2 James Hongs walked up.
Yeah.
I just said hi to him.
You know black magic.
Yeah. So just said hello. I mean, you recognize James Hong when you see him.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he has like over 500 movie credits. As
I say, he's been in just about every, especially around the 80s.
Yeah.
He was in a lot of movies.
Harley, he dubbed Godzilla.
He did?
Yeah.
Did
King of the Monsters. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's been around. He got his break. I believe it was on the Groucho Marx, like This Is Your Life or something like that.
Really?
In 1950.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
1950.
This is a life?
Yes.
50.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Let's see here. So I guess the other actor of note would be Michael Wong, who plays Jeremy Young. This was his Hollywood debut.
I thought it was Brandon Lee at first.
Looked a little bit like him. A little bit. Yeah. Handsome fella.
Yes.
And then, basically what we have here is it starts off as a bottle of wine. Okay, so James Hong he's a winemaker that has an island. The vineyard's on the island. And they let you know right away, not unlike Motel Hell. He's burying people around the grape.
Yeah, it gets right at it, doesn't it, too? It gets right into it.
He's burying corpses around the grapevines in order, to get the human whatever in the hell into the grapes. So when he makes this wine serum, he takes, because he's clearly like hundreds, if not thousands of years old. So he has to take this human, he's got to drink some serum to keep him young. We've been dealing with this since the 1950s, Harley.
Yes.
Here. So, but it starts off, a bottle of his wine auctions for $50,000.
Yeah, and people are about to fight each other over it too, man. They're about to rumble over, because it's like at an auction, and man, they go nutty.
Right. So we're at this highfalutin auction where they introduce us to all these people who I guess are actors.
I think so.
Okay.
Maybe.
Who I guess are making money working in an auction, a high rolling auction house, I guess. And then there's there's a weird German guy who I guess claims he's a film director, and that James Hong, the guy who has the island, is producing a movie and he's looking for actors.
Yes.
So he's bringing people to the island to audition, I guess, for him.
Yes. And his, it looks like a plantation or some type of place.
On his Motel Hell Island. Yeah. So, So he needs human wine serum so he doesn't look old gross. He doesn't want to look old and gross. We don't want that. And then
he'll wake up in the middle of the night and start going wonky.
Right.
He has to.
So he brings these people to this island. And now, I know this sounds cool because it's a neat setup. We like these, it's like humongous or something like that. You go to an island or a zombie. You go to Matul and there's things going on the island you can't get up. So that's what you think. But, man, it's weird getting there. And then once they get there, I guess the audition starts with a weird 80s decadent dancing party.
Yes, that. At one point, Tim, there was a couple times in the film I was like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
And then they would pan right to that real hot blonde girl.
Oh,
and I would say to myself, I'd say, what, why is this movie being made? And then it would pan back to her and I'd be like, oh, okay, that's why. Right. It seemed like a lot of scenes just to get to other scenes, you know what I mean?
Right.
But there is some weird stuff. That dance party, Tim, might have been the weirdest dance party I've ever seen put to film, man. I'm not kidding you. I was watching that guffawed. I had to actually really stop and was watching.
Right.
And then it's so funny because the blonde girl, who's one of the hottest girls on the planet at that time.
Yeah.
Just dopey though. It was funny because she had to kind of act like she liked James Hong,
it was
she was enamored with him.
Yeah.
And that was really a weird and then
she was batting below her average. She was she was doing that.
Maybe it's James Hung is why that.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. It was, man, Tim, that was a weird dance.
Yeah, so I guess the dancing was the audition.
Yeah.
Look, at this point, I wanted everyone to die slowly already. Yes. And this was the beginning of the movie.
What about the part with spilled something on? Was it?
Well, one of the actors, and I have air quotes up, one of the actors, they bring them out like these wine chocolates, like hors d'oeuvre type things, on a platter, and they start eating. Of course, it's human DNA spiked wine or something. They're doing something to them, and they're eating this. And one of the characters actually says they taste like spiders.
Yes,
and I'm like, do you eat spiders?
Yeah.
How do you know what spiders taste like?
Yeah. And it's funny because at this weird 80s dance party, it's like a costume party.
Yes. So if you've ever seen Eyes Wide Shut, it looks like that glamorous, weird-ass party at 3 a.m. when they all got too drunk to act like they were that weird and creepy. Yeah. They just let it all hang out. They're like, well, fuck it. At this point, it's a toga party.
And James Hong or whatever's got this weird mask on, this kind of ancient Chinese dragon type weird little mask on or something. Looked like and then he gets knocked off him and he has this rubber, the worst rubber mask that you would go buy at the dime store, that looks like a hunchback zombie thing or monster red face. And then people are like, oh my God, they're shocked. That was the worst mask I've ever seen in my life. And people were actually they were horrified by the thing. And I was like, this movie keeps getting more. Tim, I'm not much of a dancer. I
don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself short.
But, oh my God, the dance moves in this party were killing me, man. Tim, I don't know. This movie to me was at times was one of the weirdest movies I've ever seen in my life. And it wasn't, I don't think it was meant to be like that. Well, but it's just fucking weird. Weird. So so then basically he gets them all buzzed up on that stuff and sends them out into the vineyard, whatever, so that they can get attacked, right? Or I think by the motel hell creatures that live in the vineyard. I guess.
Yeah, wouldn't you want to bury those things like to where they couldn't get like? Do you usually like take your fertilizer and put it somewhere where it could escape? So they basically like half. I guess he half buries bodies on the ground next to grapevines, and so their nutrients are supposedly going into the grapes, but he doesn't bury them very good because like hands and heads are sticking out, and they're zombies. They're the living dead, and then he's keeping fresh victims in his basement, chained up and hung. Now, I do the same thing because I'm straight.
Yes. There are some chickies in here that, because there's some weird stuff. Like he has one that is kind of his main squeeze, but then he finds her having sex with one of the bodyguards, I think. Yeah,
it was his main bodyguard. Or one of his bodyguards, somebody.
So then he has the two bodyguards duke it out.
Yeah.
While she watches, and then the one guy ends up killing the other guy and stabbing him in front of her. And then she goes down on the hook.
Right.
She goes down, and there's a lot. And he has names. He knows all their names. Mm-hmm. And he goes down there every so often. He pats on them, and he pets them. And very awkwardly, man. It made Silence of the Lamb was nowhere near as awkward. Buffalo Bill or whatever was nowhere near as awkward.
It is weirder than Farmer Vincent. It's weirder than Motel Hell. Motel Hell is weird.
It's so weird. It's awkward. It's so awkward.
Yes.
It's just like the one girl looks at the camera, like dead on at the camera, like, why am I in this film?
Right. Well, what's weird about it is you just jump into it. Like you're looking at things happening with very little explanation or very little foreshadowing to what you're going to see. Right. And so everything's like, wait, what is that? Wait, whoa, go back. What was that? Wait, hold on. And so it's like one of those things where you're just like, huh? Now, apparently James Hong, he wanted to make a movie where he was the star. Because at the time there wasn't any Asian leading men, any stars, something like that. So this was not his first choice. His first idea was not a low budget horror film. But as it is, these are the kinds of movies you can get financed that make money.
Sure.
So this is what he did. So he gave him a character, a quote juicy role, something he could play something different or whatever. Although I think Lopan and I do not like Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah. But I think that was a good role too. As a matter of fact, I think he steals the show in that movie. Yeah, to be honest with you. But the thing is, it's one of those movies where it's really weird, but it's not. There's a lot of things happening. I mean, it's not like it's really trying to bore you or anything.
No, you ain't kidding. There's a lot going on.
A lot of monsters. You certainly don't sit there and go, needs more monsters. No, it needs more coherence. It doesn't need more monsters. I mean, the monsters are there. But it's just weird. And it does have a lot. It's definitely smells Canadian. It really does smell Canadian. So, and then like the characters themselves, of course, are bizarre. The one guy who dresses in drag through part of the movie, who's like muscles.
He's like, they're introducing everybody at the beginning, and they're all these, this person's other thing. And this guy has a high school diploma.
And he tastes like spiders.
Oh my God, that killed me, man. He's like,
Well, old toward the end of the film, when they're doing they're doing some kind of ritual, like James Hong's doing some kind of ritual to do whatever, who knows what, and old Muscles McManus here, he wants to be the hero, I guess, so he tries to charge at this ritual going on to make a save, I guess, but boy, he gets quickly dispatched Barry Horowitz style. The henchman guy turns around and clotheslines his ass just right down the ground. It's over. It's just over for him, and then like the characters that you were hoping were going to die immediately end up being kind of heroic with like bows and arrows and that's not really really fleshed out very well either.
No,
you're like, what am I looking at here exactly? It's almost like it's a 3-hour movie that was edited down almost to the point where, man, this movie was too short. It needed about 10 more minutes of explanation. It's 94 minutes long. It doesn't feel that long, though, because I think you spend the time wondering what the fuck's going on.
Right, you do. There, and then it's there, and there's a lot going on. I mean, a lot going on. I'm like,
well, you feel like if you knew what was going on, you'd be more hooked. too.
Sure, a little bit. Yeah, for sure. I'll give you that, man. Because Tim, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. A lot of things in this thing. I mean, it was okay. It was just like, just go with it. Keep filming. Just keep going, and we'll figure it out later. We'll have something. We'll put it together.
Right.
And I know it's going to make me sound awfully terrible and chauvinistic, but the girl, the blonde girl in it, I'm like, well, they're just saving the whole, and give her the top billion here at the end. We're going to get a nope. Mm-mm.
I like the girl they threw in the wine.
Oh yeah,
I like that. I had my sights set on her. That was I liked her. Yeah, it's a strange. Here's the thing. I don't think I've ever said this before. But I mean, ever. But the movie feels Craven-esque to me, like a Wes Craven 80s movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Wes Craven in the 80s was a different animal than he was in the 70s or like the 90s or 2000s, like when Scream came out and stuff.
Yeah.
This was a different. Wes Craven was making like chiller movie, that made for TV chiller movie. He made Hills Have Eyes 2. He made like Deadly Friend, Deadly Blessing, like these weird disjointed films. Yeah. And it really feels like kind of like a low budget Wes Craven type movie. And part of the reason I'm not a Wes Craven fan is because I kind of look at his whole body of work and I'm like, he's just, first of all, the guy was not an aspiring filmmaker. He kind of dumbed into it. He just fell into it and he caught his footing as he went along, and this is what it feels like to me because I think his movies are, I mean, look at People Under the Stairs. Is that not weird?
Oh. Weird. Yeah. There's certain aspects of that movie I love, but then there's other stuff I'm like, oh God, I can't stand it.
I saw that in a theater when it came out, and I'm still thinking about it. I'm still, and maybe that's the triumph of the film. Yeah, is that it's still in my mind, and I'm still thinking about it until Megadeth comes out at the end, and that also is something that reminds me. When they come out at the end of the movie, but the ending of this is just like it's bad.
Yeah.
I mean, by the last 10 minutes of it, where you should actually be getting into the film, I was wanting to play with my phone and stuff. It started I started falling out of it. It got weird to the point where I think I got to the point where I realized I wasn't going to know what was going on in this movie.
No.
And because you're looking for things that aren't there.
Because wasn't there like a witch or something too in the attic or something?
I think that was James Hong's, either his wife or like his mother, who had gotten old. So she was victim to the young person's serum too. But it seemed like she didn't want to take it. But she laid out some dudes too. Yeah. I don't know. What was her motivation? What was her whole deal? And did I miss something?
So there you go. We got a little bit of Psycho in there too, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
So
a little bit, yeah.
There you go. I don't know.
Just a bizarre movie, Mr. Ben Harley.
Oh my goodness,
bizarre movie.
I mean, and it's like I don't think it was meant to be that bizarre, and that's what was throwing me so much. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And the fact that James Hong was in it too was tripping me out. I'm like, because I saw it at the beginning, and I was like, and he's starring in it, and I'm like, what, And then I'm like, this is bizarre for him, man. Like, I was like, did he know he made this movie?
Oh, he knew. Yeah, he was a driving force behind it. So I mean, it's something. It's weird, man. And the thing is this: I'm gonna on it, but here's why. Yeah. Here's why. Yeah. I don't hate this movie. I actually found it much more interesting. Do you remember the VHS box of this movie at all? Like I do. Like to me, like around here, it was everywhere. Like you can see, you can find anywhere. But it just didn't look interesting. It looked boring. It's not boring, but unfortunately, toward the end, when they I guess the best way to put it, when they quit trying to confuse you, it does get boring. And when you have a movie that starts getting boring toward the end, that starts to hurt. That's because it does. I mean, and they're shooting arrows and stuff, and it's getting kind of boring.
Yes.
The henchmen he has a lot of henchmen around the house. They're kind of they're like sub monsters almost. They're not monsters at all, but they their role is to be monsters almost in a way, like bad guys. And then there are zombies that are pretty tough zombies too.
Yes, they're pretty tough, man. There's just a lot going on.
Yeah,
Tim. There is a lot going on, and there's some weird characters, and then a couple of the guys that, the would-be guy Harold Handsome Pants is, or the guys that you think would help. Yeah, they, like you said, they get dispatched pretty easily.
Yeah.
The The one guy's fighting a guy down in the cellar. We're in front of the girls. And doesn't fare very well, and then gets his head lopped off right in front of him. I'm like, oh.
I told me and Joe, when that fight started, I said, listen, I go, we're in a 1980s horror movie. The fat guy always beats up the athletic guy.
Yeah.
That's how it goes down in the movies. Now in the streets, I said, it's a tradition that I can remember as far back as the Funhouse.
Yes.
When Cooper Huckabee gets his ass kicked, it's like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
that guy would knock the shit out of him. Come on now, you know. So.
Yeah.
But, so I'm just going to poop on, but it's one that's because I lost interest toward the end. I would not have done that had I not lost interest toward the end, and that's a failure. To me, that's a failure of the movie. It's not. It isn't boring though. It's So
no.
It's a mild poop because I think it irritated me a little bit more. I don't really want to do that, and I'm probably going to watch this again. This is not the first time I've seen it. I'll probably watch it again, but probably when I forget it, if I'm lucky enough to be around 20 years from now, you know.
Yeah.
I might go back and go, what the hell? Again.
Yeah, exactly. You might.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give it the most mildest great bait there ever was.
You like the girls.
I can't really poop. Yeah, a little bit. But yet, the only reason I'm not pooping on it is because it made me, which doesn't happen very often, just go, huh?
Right.
And a couple of times I felt awkward for the people in the room, and I'm talking about me and the people that were in the room watching it. I felt a little awkward. I was like, I hope they don't think I'm as weird as this movie is. Right. But no, anyways, it did, and it's not like it was, and that was what's weird to me too. I don't think it was trying to be that awkward. It was just awkward. Right. And it oozed awkward. It did. I'm sorry, but Tim, that was Well,
it was
I'm glad we watched it.
I am too, and that's the thing with me. It was a 50-50 whether or not I'd poop on it or not, because. But I kind of fell on the side that I did start losing interest toward the end. I kind of floated away from it a little bit, and the other thing too is that I'm a little easy on some of these movies, and I thought, you know what, this one doesn't deserve my charity. No, I just didn't think it did.
I'm surprised it got made with James Hong. I am. I'm surprised that he made this film. I am.
Well, I think he got some money together, and what they did was. The producer guy, his henchman in the movie, I think he was pretty good at raising money. And so he raised a certain amount of money. And what they did is they made the movie backwards. Meaning instead of coming up with a script and everything and then getting funding, they got funding for a film project that James Hong was going to do and star in. But there was really no script. So once they got the amount of money they knew that they could raise, they said, what can we make for this amount of money? And they decided a low budget horror film. Which is the right move, by the way. We all know that it's going to make money. You make a drama, you're done. A comedy, good luck. Yeah. Good luck, because they're hard to make, And so with this, and I think the effects were okay, like the makeup and stuff. It was all right. It was serviceable for '89,
especially James Hong's mask when he got his other mask knocked off.
Yeah, and I like James Hong, and he is a familiar face.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, well, you're going to give it a mild great bait butt because of corn
mostly for the awkward. Yeah, the awkwardness was just like, what? And
the ladies kept you company.
So. Yeah, a little bit, but it just made me go, oh, and I like that. I do enjoy being guffawed sometimes. Like, what in the hell am I watching right now?
Well, I'm mildly pooping on it because it's just time to poop on a movie, and this one had it coming. That had come from somewhere, So
you ain't kidding, my friend.
Yeah, but you could do a lot worse. Vinegar Syndrome.
And we have.
Yes, we have. Yes, we have. Vinegar Syndrome put out a Blu-ray, DVD, double feature or double disc of this. Pretty good for a DVD. There's some good special features on it. It does have a James Hong interview and stuff, and he's explaining. He's explaining, how this movie is made and everything. So, and that's probably, as we're speaking of this, obviously a little as interesting, if not more, than the film itself.
Sure.
And hey, I love wine. Me and Angela, everybody knows we're wine drinkers. We love drinking wine. Yeah. So watching a horror movie called The Vineyard, we're going to give it a shot either way, But I did not remember this movie very much. I saw it in the VHS days, did not see it ever again.
Yeah.
But I do remember it being different than I thought it was going to be. And watching it now, Of course it was different. I thought it was going to be coherent, but, hey, what do you know?
It was different, all right.
Yeah, so, all right, Mr. Ben Harley, let's get out of here. Not sure what we're doing next week, but I'm sure it's going to be fantastic.
Riveting.
Yes.
As usual.
Yeah.
Maybe mildly awkward like this week. We'll see.
And incoherent like this week as well, as we normally are. So until next week, all you deep thinkers out there, be good to each other, be safe, stay spooky. And we'll talk to you then.
Keep it creepy, people.
You've been listening to the Tim O and Harley Show, brought to you by ScreenPrintingFactory.com, your affordable one-stop solution to all your screen printing needs.